All right, so I'm responding to a comment actually that I got on one of my videos. And okay, so here's a question. Is there a point where you are frustrated? Because I'm there, person says. And then goes on, I seem to comprehend all the concepts. I've felt the oneness, and obviously I'm not. It's not like I'm reaching for something unattainable. I'm already that, but I know the difference. And it goes on, but I think this is enough for us to chew on here. Hopefully, well, I would expect that there's some recognition going on. I think we all can recognize those statements and those words. The frustration and knowing the concepts and just not being there. And on and on. It reminds me, Kenneth Madden, you probably know him. I hope you know him. A great speaker about the topic. He does Zoom meetings, and very often at the beginning he will, address this business of questions. And he says, he likes to say, there aren't any stupid questions. So, don't be inhibited in the questions. If there's a question, let it out. Let it come. The questions are part of, the conversation. There are no stupid questions. There are no intelligent questions. I'm speaking I'm not necessarily quoting him, but he does say that. He says, there are no stupid questions and there are no intelligent questions. Just ask your question. And, yeah, sure, because, the fact is there are no stupid questions or intelligent questions or good or bad questions, because the questions essentially are all the same. There is no, this communication really has nothing to do with any questions. There are no questions that speak to this. This is, the communication of non-duality is not an answer to any question. It has nothing to do with questions. But the questions come up as part of the whole business of communicating. And I could also say, in a way, every question is the same question. It's like they are all pointing to the same thing, in a way. That, again, isn't an answer to a question, but it's the same mystery. So any question is really the same question. And another way you could say there's only one question, which is the me's question, which is, how do I get to the mystery? And the answer was always that there is no getting to the mystery, right? This is the mystery. The question, how do I get to the mystery? How do I get how do I get the answer? How do I get the end of my questioning? However it's put, the answer is always, well, that is it. Every question is it. So again, it's just a simple answer to why there are no good or bad questions, no smart or stupid questions. Because every question is it. It's already it. Everything is it. So, in a way, I've done the video already. But because I'm not going to say anything beyond that. I never say anything beyond that. There's nothing to say beyond that. But again, we'll say all kinds of things in different questions. We'll be addressing seems like different things all the time. But it's always just, how do I get to the mystery? How do I get there from here? And you're just here. So, but there's the game of question and answer that we play. That's the dance. And so great. And it works. The questioning, this game of dancing with questions and answers and expressions and stories, everything is it, and it's also this, like I say, the dance of communication, resonance, and the sharing of the mystery. To overflower the language. But anyway, so let's look at this. What was it? Do you ever get to the point of frustration? Yeah. So, of course, the first thing, the point of frustration. Okay, that's interesting. Do you ever get to the point of frustration? The person who's asking the question is saying, I'm at this point of frustration. It's driving me a little nuts, or worse, and I'm wanting to know, is this something that you've experienced, that you do experience or have experienced? And there's also the hint that, well, what did you do? How do you, wanting to commiserate. Partly I think the person who's asking the question isn't really expecting an answer necessarily. They're sharing the anguish of being frustrated. Well, yeah, that is the me, is the point. So do I ever reach the point of frustration, or have I, did I get beyond it, which is also implied in there? Yeah, were you at this place of being frustrated, and kind of what did you do, and how did that, how did you get beyond it? How did you move to not being frustrated? Right? The implication that there's a me somewhere out in in cyberland, walking around not being frustrated, and he's, or she, well, let's see, is stuck in this frustration place. And what can I do? What do we do? Yeah, well, of course, the frustration place is the me. The me is frustrated. That is what the me is. So it's not really reaching a point of frustration. We could say when you're at that place, when you're just really feeling like you're reaching a point, well, that just kind of means that I'm in this moment, I'm really sensitive to this me condition. I'm just feeling the me in its raw state. This me experience. Maybe my attention is somehow focused just on this me and its search. And the me is frustrated. The me experience is just being limited and not being able to do anything about it. Just feeling that, that frustration is running up against the wall, my own walls, my limit, needing to break out of them. That is the me. That is that's, well, what do you do when you're in that situation? You search for a way out. And that is the search. That's the seeking energy. Seeking energy is frustrated. It's continually frustrated. If it wasn't, it would be over with. There would be no seeking left if there was no frustration left. But the frustration is always there, because that is the me. It's not that the me is frustrated. It's that the me is frustration. The me is the sense of separate from what I need, separate from my freedom, separate from what's beyond the cage. I'm encaged. That is the me, constant experience. So the frustration is always there. It's not felt necessarily, particularly if the attention or whatever, the body-mind is just, I could say distracted, or let's just say the energy is being taken up by all kinds of activities and stories that sort of relieve the frustration. So I'm not focused on this separation. There are a lot of practices, when we get into talking about practices, there are a lot of practices that just try to focus the frustration, sort of make it more concentrated, the attention on that, on the state, on my own state, sort of like Zen, trying to penetrate a koan. Anyway, there's a lot of people, often do that intentionally, but I mean, I don't know why I really got off on that. It doesn't matter. I mean, the point is, this me is frustrated. So yeah, if you're a me, anybody who's at all sensitive to their own state is sensitive to this frustration and is going to be feeling it. And which is why we have seekers. I mean, seekers are, like I think I already said it, it responds to this frustration. And like I say, I mean, ordinarily the response is, buy another car or whatever. But the frustration, of course. So, I mean, the person that wrote this question is really just expressing, this feeling of being me and sort of commiserating about it. Well, let's see, what else is... I lost my screen. Oh well. Okay, so the rest of it was, I seem to comprehend all the concepts. Okay, well, we'll just take that. So there's more frustration because, we can comprehend all the concepts. And there is a certain value in that value. There's a clarity that comes from comprehending the concepts. And there, we talk about non-dual communicating, the so-called message. There's generally basic concepts that are, make up just to talk about it, they're not too many, but there are, some basic things. And to comprehend them can be a certain, good effect from having done that, being one who understands the concepts. There's a certain clarity, and of course, it can add to the frustration as well, because now here I understand the concepts, but it doesn't do me any good. It makes it worse in a way, because Jesus, I know this, and I'm just as far away as ever, even more so. So more frustrated, which is kind of what he's expressing too. And I felt the oneness. Well, I should go, the point about the concepts is the concepts don't have anything, they don't help you, really. And like I said, there's some, value in some way, but this has nothing to do with a concept. Understanding concepts doesn't get you anywhere. Nothing gets you anywhere, is the point. So, it's just another another leg of the journey, another of the searching, to understand the concepts. And but it's also part of the dance, and it's it's great. It's important in a way. So, but of course, I mean, well, if you understand the concepts, then you know that one of the concepts, I think it's concept 4-365 in the non-duality vehicle code for getting free of frustration, is that none of the concepts mean anything. None of them help anything. So you know that already. And, well, I was going to say something else, I don't remember. But anyway, I'll just go on. I felt the oneness. Yeah, and obviously I'm not. Okay, well, there's the me again. That is the me. So again, feeling the oneness. And, these, maybe what he's talking about is what we usually call a glimpse. I have these experiences where the me goes away, goes on vacation, and I have a feeling or an experience of no me, of just this without the extra, without the burden, just this as it is. But then it's just it's temporary, it's just a thing, a little hit, and then obviously I'm not, because the me hasn't gone away. So in a way it's worse, because now the search is intensified, and the frustration is intensified, and the feeling is intensified, and so that's part of the me, the glorious tour of me. So it's not like I'm reaching for something unattainable. Well, I'm already that. Okay, so that has the ring of, I'm not buying that exactly, because, the me, what is being described here is the me situation, the me experience. And of course, the me experience is reaching for something unattainable, because the me is reaching. It's the activity of reaching. I don't have it, I'm going to get it, reaching. Like, anyway. And of course it's unattainable. What I'm reaching for is unattainable, because it's just what is. Can't be attained. It's never it's never unattained. It's not attained or unattained. It's just what is, it's what always is. There's no way to reach for it. There's no way to get it. So, of course, the me is reaching for something unattainable. And then I'm already that. Well, okay, but true. But that's the me speaking. Because he's not fooling anybody. You don't know that you're already that. You are. There only is. Not you are. But you are also. There is only that. But the reaching makes it seem unattainable, elsewhere, down the block, round the corner, 2 steps away. Next, the next thing is going to be that. Next moment, next try. But there are, so the already that. Well, okay, so now we can, so the end of it is, but I know the difference. So in other words, I'm feeling this me, this frustration, and this sense of this is not it, the sense of not it, and I know the difference. I'm not a fool, right? It's the most obvious thing there is. If I don't have it, I'm still just sitting here without it, and I need it. So I'm sitting here with the need. Needy, limited, frustrated, running up against life. And I know the difference between that and just being already everything. So again, I mean, this little question or whatever it is, just expression of the me, just gave us a chance to kind of unwrap the me a little bit. And like I said, any question would do that because they're all the same question. The me's question is the me's question. The me's question is the me, which is a question. That's why it's questing. It's seeking. It's searching. So I know the difference. Well, okay, so there you go. That again is the me. I know the difference. There's the me right there. The me knows. I know that there's difference. I know the separation. I know the difference that I am. The me always betrays itself. You can't say, as soon as the words are out, well, not even the words, just one syllable, the me is already broadcasting. It's knowledge, and it's, okay, I know that I'm different, that there's different. I know I'm different. In other words, I know that I'm sitting here in difference, in separation, and I got a problem. That's the me. So, gone around the barn a few times here, but okay, I'll wrap it up a little bit, by answering the question, okay? Okay, the frustration. Have I ever felt the frustration? Okay, it's not, the me is the frustration, so yeah. Me feels the frustration, I felt it, right? You, whoever I and you is, no one has felt it. There is no one frustrated. There is no one who feels this point of frustration. But there is this me experience, this me arising me appearance, and that is the frustration. So, yeah, if you're a me, then you've felt that. You've been to that point. If you're sensitive, like I say, you may talk to some people who say, what are you talking about? I'm just going to the game. But, yeah, the me is that. And so here's the kicker. That is the freedom. The frustration, the feeling of the me, and all its searches and all its anguish and all of its stories is this. There is only this. The me is the one who thinks that there's something else and thinks that this, whatever it is, isn't it. But whatever is showing up, however it is, frustration, sense of freedom. And I'll tell you, so here's the real kicker. The point of frustration isn't even a point. It's not frustration. It's not freedom. It's not anything. It's just what is. It's told, the tale is told, the story is told as being frustration. But that's part of the me. And the me's knowledge of what's going on. I know that I'm here and I'm frustrated. That's just the me's story. But we don't believe the me's stories here. Because it's not frustration. It's not anything. It's not anything that you know. It's just this, the thisness of what is already, just as this. And there isn't anything else. So there's no frustration. There's nothing that needs to be attended to here. No one needs to be let out of jail. Nobody is. That's just the me and its story. Which again, that's what we're talking about all the time. It gives us plenty to talk about. But this here, as it is, which is all there is. The me thinks there's something else. The me is the sense of something else, the story of something else. But we're not believing that story because there is just this, and that I'm saying, and it doesn't make sense to the me. And that is the mystery. And the mystery isn't frustration, it's not freedom, it's just this.